Hey everyone, how's it going? It's a little bit wet today, got puddles everywhere, but that's not going to stop me show you guys step by step on how to do a 360 hop on a bike. Now I've made a couple of videos on how to bunny hop already and how to do 180 hops, so if you want to know the absolute basics on how to do a simple bunny hop all the way to doing absolutely massive ones and how to get the correct technique for 180 hops and also to do super high 180 hops, I'd recommend go watch those videos before you watch this one because I'm going to skip quite a lot of the basic techniques. Now I'm a bit worried I'm going to slide out on some of this slippery floor. If you're going to practice this, I'd recommend not a puddly car park. Find somewhere nice and flat, ideally as grippy as possible so your front wheel doesn't slide, so you don't slide if you land slightly skew with. But if I do fall off, it'll make for some pretty good footage. So let's see how we get on. I'm not using the bunny hop bar which I've used in my previous videos this time, just because height isn't my goal. I just want to get a nice tucked 360 hop like this. Like in the previous videos where I explained finding a spot in the floor, I've chosen a mark on the floor here to initiate my hop. I'd recommend going a fast walking pace or a slow jogging pace. If you go too fast, it can become pretty hard to control. Here's one from another angle, and do that in slow motion for you. Strangely, I don't think I carve in a 360 quite as much as I do in a 180. It's more of a yank than a full carve. Here it is even slower. I've got all my focus on my taking off point, a quick carve and pull, always looking around with the head, tucking up the back wheel and looking for the landing. As with the 180 hops in my previous videos, the key is to look with your head. As you can see, I start with my head turning and I don't stop looking for the landing all the way through. Also, I don't think it's vital that you're landing exactly 360 degrees. As long as you're riding away without having to turn too much, then it's all good. Now here's a few common mistakes I often see new riders to 360s do. If you're doing any of these, don't worry about it, they're easily fixable and some of them are actually helpful for other types of 360s. The first one is just an English hop 360 where you don't lift the front wheel first, lifting both wheels at the same time. I often see slopestyle riders do English hop drops off big drops in the competitions. I think that's just because bigger bikes are a lot harder to carve. I think the most common mistake I see is people getting to the 180 point and forgetting to keep on looking for the landing. So they get to the 180 and then they fixate on where they've been rather than where they're going. And you'll never get a good 360 doing that. Now if you find yourself not getting enough rotation and you're landing a back pivot, you need to jump higher. If you're struggling due to strength or the bike's too big, you can always try this at a skate park out of a jump or a fly out. I also see a lot of new riders to 360s pedal kick into them as well. Now it may feel like you're progressing, but actually you're probably going to hold yourself back. You're not going to learn the correct technique, so really it's worth bunny hopping rather than pedal kicking. Right, so now everyone knows what not to do. Let's start to break this down step by step and show you exactly how to do a 360 bunny hop. So like I said earlier, going at a fast walking pace or slow jogging pace, I'm fixated on my taking off point and getting ready for the preload. As I mentioned in my 180 hop video, I am right foot forward and I carve anti-clockwise. If you're left foot forward, you would go clockwise, but if you really want to do it the other way around, then just go for it. Due to coming in at an angle or the carve into this hop, my left elbow is slightly dropped and my hips are cocked slightly to the left. This is all part of the preload, not only upwards, but also the rotation. Next up, just like a normal bunny hop, is the front wheel lift. Everything's the same. You got to lift up the front wheel as high and as fast as you can. The only difference is if you see my head is already starting to look over my left shoulder. This is vital. The more you look with your head, the more the bike will spin. And next up, again, just like a normal bunny hop, is the rear wheel lift. You're using a down, back and up motion on your feet to scoop up on the pedals. And also notice where I'm looking. I'm looking at a slightly down angle over my shoulder. My shoulders are dropped. If you look too high or too low, the bike won't make the right shape and you'll land either front wheel heavy or back wheel heavy. The next step, kind of similar to a normal bunny hop, is the tuck. This one's actually a lot harder to get into a cool position by the side of the bike, but if you can tuck the back wheel up so it's higher than the front, you'll get some style points. Maybe not quite as bar humpy as I've done it in this one though. Note how I'm still looking over my shoulder, even past the 180 point. You always want to look for your landing. And the last thing you need to do is stick the landing. Like I said previously, don't worry about getting exactly 360 degrees. As long as you're riding away smoothly, you don't have to do any sharp turns or hops, then it's all good. If you can land slightly front wheel first, you get some bonus points, but don't worry too much about it. A rear wheel landing is still fine. Just remember to extend your arms and legs and then brace for the impact. So there you go everyone, that is my tips on how to 360 hop. Just to recap, it's all about looking where you're going. The most common thing, like I said, is when people get to the 180 point and they stop looking around. That just kills a 360 hop. You may get around with a bit of a pivot, but it doesn't look as good. So yeah, I really hope this helped you guys. Like I said at the start, I have my previous videos on bunny hops, just basic skills, and 180 hops. If you want to see those, they are linked just here. Go check those out, hopefully they'll help you out. Let me know how you get on with your 360 hops. Go and check out my social media. But yeah, let me know, and I hope you guys enjoyed this, and yeah, keep an eye out for more tutorials in the future. Cheers, bye bye.